I think. Mhm.
I was so excited when I found out that one of the panelists are going to be directly from Nigeria because my research actually is in beauty politics. And
Okay.
specifically, I look at how Black women, the dark-skinned Black women, are portrayed in the media. And for the sake of my research here in the US, because it has to be, constricted. But
Hmm.
I came across an article that said in Nigeria, there was a ban on white or non-Nigerian models being in advertisements. And I thought that was groundbreaking. So can you tell me if that's true or not? Because I've seen it a number of times, but I haven't
Okay.
gotten like, I would say hard evidence, like concrete evidence about that.
So when you say concrete, are you saying that about like Africans getting like Nigerians getting involved in commercials?
Yeah, so I what the article said was that the country has decided that it's no longer allowing white or non-Nigerian. So if you're not a native to Nigeria,
Yeah,
to be in
yeah.
advertising.
Actually, that's true because I'm actually in the media. I work on radio.
Okay.
So yes, it is true. So for every voice you hear for commercials now, they are
Yeah.
not going to be non-Nigerians anymore. It's just Nigerians or nothing. And it's actually good because
Yeah.
regardless, you still have people who speak well and don't have the Nigerian accent when they're doing like voiceovers. Like I do voiceovers, I do commercials. So um, there's this thing like people feel like, oh, if it's a Nigerian that says it will not sound well. That is not true. That is actually not true. And it's also good because it's going to create a lot of jobs for people here. So yes, when it comes to the voicing and commercials, if it's not Nigerian, that is, but I don't know if they've started implementing yet. But
Mhm.
I know that lately I've not heard any commercial that has to do with somebody who's outside Nigeria. Any whatever, whether it's an event, whether it's a product, a brand, or whatever, every voicing that I've heard so far is what you call it is Nigerian. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And to me, that's so groundbreaking. And I'm like, why is this not more widespread? Like I'm on my Facebook, I'm on my Instagram, I'm sharing it over and over and over again. Every time I see it, it's because I shared it. But I'll still share it again because I'm like, this is huge. This is like
Yeah.
when you talk about framing the narrative or doing the research to see what is
Hmm.
actually going on versus the stereotypes that are being put out there, this is a huge
Yeah.
step in doing that. And I also feel like, though, not for nothing, we as people, like, we're not in stone ages anymore. We have the
At
internet,
all.
we have conversations with people, whether it's something like this or whether we just by chance meet somebody and we can educate ourselves. I think a lot of us rely too much on the lies and the stereotyping that comes out in the media because we have to understand what we see in movies is not necessarily true. Like most of the
Girl,
time,
no.
90%, exactly,
Picture.
90% are for entertainment. Even if it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a true crime, it's still for entertainment purposes.
Mm.
They still exaggerate like a scene. They exaggerate to make the person more intrigued by it.
Right, because
Yeah.
it's too entertaining. So I think at the same time where you're like, we need more research, I agree 100%. As a researcher, 100% I agree. But the other side of me is like, when are we going to take personal responsibility? We, me and MiKARA, we were talking about, flying and going different places. And we had talked about we had both like wanted to go to Jamaica and stuff like that. So it's like, when we go to those places, what are we doing? She
Mm.
asked me if I actually left the resort. And I was like, well, to go on excursions, and then we're
Girl,
like,
no, not me. I'm like, where the driver at?
you
Where
see
my
what I'm
driver?
saying?
Okay,
Exactly.
119. That's
And
an
that's
emergency.
yeah, we should know. We should be able to go and do things and explore and learn about each other because at the end of the day, if you don't know your roots, like it's very sad, but a lot of us don't know our roots because we were stolen from our
Yeah.
home place, right? But if you do know your roots, you should still want to go out and learn whether you do or don't. I think that's a huge part of what you're saying as well. Like not only research from the marketers and the media producers, but on us as individuals who are just in the world and participating.
There are some people who just don't want to know. They just want to be ignorant to whatever happened before us.
And
I think it's just it's just like BB said, it's about changing the narrative, because we're so used to having we're so used to hearing and having non-Nigerians or non-Africans in most of our commercials, and it's about time we stop, because whether we like it or not, there's so many talents that are yet to be discovered. There are so many talents. There's so many creative, very intelligent people. I mean, if we were not as good as people make us look, why are people going outside our just how we're being portrayed and how we're being seen? And that needs to be corrected. That needs to be, because the way Nigeria especially is being seen is like we're the worst of the worst. But that is not true. That is not true at all. You come here, you experience different forms of culture from different languages,
tribalism.
Meet different individuals.
Y'all got tribalism. We don't have that at all.
Come on, MiKARA. Come on, MiKARA.
We don't have it, right, baby?
Like,
we don't have it. We had like a full
there, but then again, we try to find our way around it, because the truth is, I think a lot of people are beginning to accept that, certain things are changing. Now, like, take for example this hair issue. One of the beautiful things about Nigeria, especially when it comes to hair, there are certain hairstyles that you see on different women in Nigeria that will tell you where they're from.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you go to like my tribe, Yoruba, if you go to like the native side of my tribe, like places where culture and customs are still being regarded, when you see certain hairstyles, you know that, oh, this person is Yoruba. But you probably go to that's for the western side. You go to the eastern side, you see another. And funny thing is, we all admire each other's hairstyles. We all do. Like, this is so nice. The only thing is, sometimes we can't do it because we're not the same tribe, or we just feel like, oh, it's not going to fit. Or unless maybe you get someone who can actually pull it off for you. Right. So it is a lot, because like we have over how many tribes, we speak so many languages. So you can imagine the customs and traditions and the kind of hairstyles, like in my culture, my tribe, the hairstyle that the queen of a particular land will carry, no other maiden or no other lady in the land is allowed to do it. There's certain traditional hairstyles that cannot be done by any other woman who is not the queen of the land. So unless you're from the royal palace or something, then you're allowed to, but if not. So that's why I said that here, especially in Africa, Nigeria especially, for example, where you have different people, different backgrounds, different languages, different tribes, different traditions and customs. When it comes to hair, you haven't seen anything, believe you me. Even we that were here, I can bet that there are some hairstyles I've never seen in my life. There's some, acceptance. Like some cultures will say, okay, if a man dies and the wife is still alive, one of the traditions is they have to scrape the woman's hair with a blade, not a clipper. So you see, when it comes to hairstyles and stuff, there's a lot of things attached to hair, with rules, with tradition, with, oh, you're a woman, you're not supposed to cut your hair. If you're going to do your hair like this, Anyway, look responsible and all that kind of stuff. So if you now say, oh, as a woman, I want to have a mohawk or I want to go bald, believe you me, if your mother does not say anything, your mother's friends will say something. Somebody will question you, to be honest. Somebody is going to say something like, oh, as you have cut your hair now, do you think you look good? Or this hair that you did, do you think it fits you? So it's a whole lot. It's a lot, to be honest.